What's good, y'all? I am Vehement, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a new series. It's called Laid Back Reviews, where I write a very loose script and I review a video game, because I love games. It's not going to be like the newest games or anything like that. Whatever I feel like reviewing, I'm gonna review. These might be every once in a while. If a game really piques my interest enough, I will play it in a review process, write bulletins or a very loose script, and we just chill out while I do a laid back review. It's not the most in-depth reviews, but it's a review. Does that make any sense? I'm sure you'll understand while you watch. But this review is on Medieval, the PS4 remake. I never played the original. Always wanted to, but just never got the chance. So this was my first foray into the Medieval universe. And honestly, as you guys are gonna know, you know what? No spoilers. Let's get on in the review. Medieval is a gothic Halloween-style adventure where you are the legendary hero of Gallowmere, Sir Daniel Fortescue, who supposedly was the one who spearheaded the army against Zarok's undead army and killed Zarok. But actually what happened was you died right when the battle begins from an arrow, but Zarok is back at it again. He is resurrecting the dead to rebuild his army, but in the process, you get revived and your journey begins. So, Medieval is a beautiful, gothic-inspired, Halloween-feeling adventure game. It bleeds personality. The graphics are beautiful. I love the dark atmosphere mixed with upbeat humor. The game is hilarious, and the art style, oh, beautiful, beautiful. The game's humor is great. So the game is always picking on Fortescue about how much of a failure he is and his appearance because he's missing his jaw. So every once in a while there'll be a joke about his jaw and they'll say a comment and like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Along your journey there's these gargoyles that you come across and they're always picking on you at the beginning. They're putting you down, calling you a failure, and it's wicked funny. Enemy design is also humorous as well. There's a lot of humor packed into the way that enemies move and attack and stuff like that. It oozes personality. I love the variety in the levels. No levels look the same. Like, you never know what you're gonna get between going from a lonely graveyard to mystical forests to castle walls to pumpkin patches with a rotten pumpkin boss. You just never know what you're gonna get with this game. It's so varied and unique to each level, but they're all very cohesive from going from one location to the next. It's very cohesive. You can, like, it makes sense. In the levels, they keep you on your toes. There's no point where you say to yourself, oh, I was expecting that. It always stays exciting. Literally, I never at one point was like, oh, I knew that was gonna happen, or yeah, I kind of predicted that. That was never. The game always kept me on my toes. I loved it. And I love the exploration-based level design. Like, you find a door that needs a chaos rune, so you wander around the level looking for a chaos rune. You gotta search around the level to find the chalice. More on that in a little bit. It really begs you to explore the levels. It really, really does. The level order is kind of trial and error. If you're too weak or you're missing a piece, sometimes you gotta leave and come back later, and usually you'll find what you need in another level. It's kind of like Metroidvania, you know? Oh, this door isn't opening because I'm shooting it and nothing's happening. Okay, maybe I need a new weapon. So you go back, you search around, explore the level more, and then you usually find like a piece to the puzzle. Like the Enchanted Earth has a cauldron, so it makes you think, okay, there's a cauldron. What do I need? Am I missing something? Can I interact with this? So you think to yourself, okay, I'm gonna go check some other levels. Maybe I have to come back to this level in the future. And in a different level, you find a witch's talisman, and then that witch's talisman is used to go into a secret level inside the cauldron. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the exploration-based level design that I really, really like. If you explore every level more in depth, there'll also be life bottles to reward you. And the life bottles kind of act as almost like heart pieces do in Zelda, where you don't need 4 life bottles to get another heart, but each life bottle is like another life bar. I really like that. You know, you could go the whole game and only find a couple, but if you search around, you'll get a ton of them. I think 8 of them. And in every level, there is what is called a chalice. And you don't have to do the chalices. But if you do the chalices, it brings you to the Halls of Heroes, and the Halls of Heroes rewards you with weapons, money, life, so it really makes you want to find them all. I did. I went ahead and I found every single chalice, and usually to get the chalices you have to kill a certain amount of enemies or a certain number of a certain enemy. The game is very, very clever, but some of the puzzles in the level were a bit too obtuse. Like at the beginning of the Haunted Ruins, there's a chicken. There's a bunch of chickens and a bunch of hay piles, and there's a drawbridge, and I could not figure out how to get this drawbridge open. Come to find out, you have to scare the chickens away to get to this one pile of hay that underneath reveals a switch that needs to be lifted. I didn't figure that out. I had to go search a walkthrough to figure that out. I'm sorry, I know there was a couple of puzzles that I just could not figure out. I just felt like they were very obtuse. Like the puzzle in Enchanted Earths. There's a wall that's literally just a replica of the layout of the switches that you have to step on. And you have to go top, left, right, down. I don't know how I was supposed to figure that out. Again, I needed a walkthrough, and the person in the walkthrough said that it was very simple. Not to me. I didn't find it very simple. I thought it was very obtuse. While we're on the topic of level design and a couple negatives, screw Ancient Dead. With the creatures trying to knock you off and the soldiers throwing shit at you, this is a perfect example of some of the things I don't like that I will get into in a moment. That level is bogus. I love the idea, but I don't like the execution. Last thing on level design is near the end of the game, you unlock these lost souls that spread throughout Galamir, and to 100% the game, you go back and replay all the levels to find the lost souls. I think that's amazing for like completionists who want more out of their game. You know, like it gives you a reason to replay levels. I really like that. I didn't do it. I'm not a completionist, but people like, I'm sure Gerard, the completionist, I'm sure like that is something he probably appreciated. Enemy design is hit or miss. I have a love-hate relationship. In one hand, I love the personality of the enemies, the personality that the enemy design drips. I really do. But like, some of them are okay to fight. Some enemies telegraph their attacks so you can move out of the way, which is fine. That's a good thing. But a lot of the enemies don't, and throughout this game, I found myself frustrated because it feels like you can't avoid damage. And this one thing that frustrates me in video games is the feeling of not being able to avoid taking damage. It takes away any bit of skill, and it makes it feel more like you got lucky that you got through that battle, you know what I mean? I wanted to love the combat. I mostly did. I like figuring out best weapons to use on which enemies, but I'd say more than half the time I was frustrated because I felt like it was just unfair and unbalanced. The way that you would get hurt, just trying not to take damage, but you still take damage, it just frustrated me a lot. But again, I love the looks of the enemies, the enemy design. It's just the enemy attack patterns that bother me. And the weapon variety is amazing. Between big blunt hammers to magical swords and spears, magical bows, and then of all things, your arm. Like, I thought that was hilarious. Your arm's a weapon. To which, you know, you're a skeleton, so pop your arm off and pop it back on. Why not? It fits the theme of the Halloween horror aesthetic that the game follows. It really fits in. And boss design is top notch. I love how every single one looks. Some I like more than others, but not a single bad or boring visual design for any of the bosses. They all look unique and interesting. I think visually my favorite looking one was the Stained Glass Demon. I thought the idea and look was awesome, and I very much enjoyed fighting it. That was definitely my favorite boss out of the game, aside from the end boss. The end boss, chef's kiss, amazing. And again, that's another perfect example of, you know, keeping you on your toes and not expecting anything. I'm not going to spoil it. If you've never played this game, play it. It's just, the last boss is so worth it. So worth it. My three favorites were the Pumpkin, Zarok, and the Stained Glass Demon. I love the mechanics to the Pumpkin. I love the look of the Stained Glass Demon. And I love the look and design and mechanics of the end boss. Just love it. I hated the two wolves. I struggled with them a lot. They kind of felt a little unfair, but that could have just been me. Everybody has that one boss or enemy that they struggle with, and the two wolves were definitely mine. All in all, the game is a beautiful adventure through a painstakingly crafted world that was clearly built by passionate people that cared about detail. I enjoyed every minute I spent with almost every level, whether it was visual design, amazing music, or interesting and fun mechanics. I can easily recommend this mystical feeling gothic style adventure game, even with some of its unfair enemy design and weird puzzles. So there, that is my review of Medieval PS4 Remake. I know this game came out a year ago. I just finally played it for October, and I thought it would be a fitting start to my foray into video game reviews. Sorry if this seemed messy. I'm new to this, cut me some slack. I'm trying. I think there's some better ways I can write my script out. I realized as I was recording this, but hey, I had a lot of fun playing and writing the script and reviewing this game, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Again, there will be more of these. I just gotta find games to review. That's all for me, guys. If you're new here, I do reactions and I sprinkle a little stuff in there too, like this video. And if you like the video, consider leaving a like. It helps out a lot. But that's all from me. Peace.